Yes, hello, and welcome to Skiing 5.0, the comeback after 50. I am Sunny. Tonight, we're not talking about perfect skiing, even though we all want to do perfect skiing. We're going to be talking about what really happens when you're trying to improve over 50. The breakthroughs, the fears, the drills that work, the drills that humble you. And this season has definitely been a turning point for me, not only on the mountain, but here on YouTube. Thank you to all of you who have just recently discovered me. I really feel that we are a special group of skiers, older and wiser, and still trying to get better. So thank you for finding me. Thank you for digging my vibe and joining. So I'm going to do a mid-season report and what's working, what's not, what's still hard, and where this is heading next. So if you are over 50 and trying to improve, you are definitely in the right place. So with that, again, my name is Sunny. I am 54 years old. I'm going to talk more about me, but this is my fourth season coming back to skiing after decades away, and it has been a wild ride. So if you are watching live in the chat, I want to hear where you were skiing this weekend, if you did get out, and how were the conditions. Or if you're watching the replay, leave it in the comments. I'm going to be sharing some polls later, and I love finding out where people are skiing. So let me do a quick overview of tonight's agenda. I got my paper, my notes. I need my glasses because I am old. I got my pencil. So I'm going to be doing a season report, a mid-season report of the Drill Down to Level Up series that I started, kind of a little recap, more about me and how I am feeling right now and starting this YouTube journey as well. And then I'm calling you the comeback crew. And community spotlights. I'm going to be sharing some comments that you have been leaving, which is absolutely one of the main reasons why I do this. I love connecting with fellow like-minded skiers who are really looking to improve. So you are, as I said, you are in the right place because I feel you and hopefully you feel me. And then wrap up with the slopes ahead and what's going to be happening the rest of the season. Whew. So I hope you get a drink. I have a tendency to ramble on. This is live, some notes, but I'm just going to share my thoughts and get cozy. We have a lot to discuss. So let me talk about, first of all, my mid-season, my season report so far. If you're watching in real time, it is February 22nd. So hoping for a snowy March, and I will be finishing my season in the middle of April. So still a lot of skiing to do, but already I am getting that summertime sadness, but I don't want to think about it. So I started last year really documenting my journey here on YouTube. And if you watched any of last season, you saw that I was a really big carve user. I used it every stinking day. And even though I appreciated the metrics and seeing like the leaderboard, it got to me mindset wise. And so this year I decided to put carve on the shelf. And also, I don't know if you are aware, but skiing is a little bit of an expensive sport. So for those budget savvy and sensitive, you have to kind of prioritize where you're going to be spending your money for the season. So I said, where can I take some things away? And with thinking about the new season and what I wanted to document here on YouTube, I decided that I wanted to go back old school. I have been in midweek adult lessons. This is my third season. I have been with the same PSIA level 3 instructor for 3 seasons now, and the same coach. And we do drills. But if you are like me, and probably one of the reasons why you found me is that you are seeking out how to improve with skiing videos. And the algorithm gods have sent you my way. So, like you, I watch them all. I'm really into, I mean, one of the reasons what inspired me to go on YouTube. So I said, all right, what can I do? I want to get back to basics. And who really spoke to me as a coach online is Deb Armstrong. And the thing that I'm discovering that I really love about skiing, there's so many things that I love about skiing, but I love about skiing is it's such a technical sport, but sometimes how someone describes how technical a technical move, either it clicks with you or it doesn't click with you. And the thing with Deb Armstrong is she clicks with me. First of all, she brings the energy, which I love. I have a lot of energy as well. She brings the passion, which I love. So I really admire her. Obviously, she is a pro. She knows what she's talking about. So I reached out to her in November and told her that I was thinking about doing this series and would it be okay if I used her videos? And she said, absolutely, keep me posted on your progress and we can, maybe connect later on, yada, yada, yada. So I started off with starting with the falling leaf. I started in December. And at that time in December, when it was really the beginning of the season, if you watched any of the series, I really dedicated time setting my timer, going out there because nobody really of friends, family was out there skiing just yet. Just us, diehards are like, all right, the season started. We're going to get out. And I'm glad that I did that because I would say dedicating time to working on drills really helped me get to the level that I am now. But we're going to get to that. So I started with a falling leaf. Then I moved to garlands, and then I did whirly birds, and then I did hockey stops. Not that those are the only drills that I am attempting on my regular, skiing journey. There's so many wonderful drills. I mean, and I'll talk more about railroad tracks, but and the thing that dawned on me, and I think I mentioned this in the video, that I'm not trying to be the falling leaf or the whirly bird champion, the perfect drills. This is something that I know I'm going to need to be doing for the rest of my life, that I'm going to have to revisit these drills throughout my skiing career, just like spot check. And as Deb says, it's about mileage. It's about finding those savvy feet. And even though I looked ridiculous doing them, probably 80% of the time, I had a little scoring for myself, like magic carpet and green giggles and blue. Well, thank you. But I think it's just attempting to do that, putting myself out there that I was going to try something, even if I wasn't perfect at it. And the more that I kept trying and doing it, the more I saw how it was translating. And that's the whole thing. How is it translating to you everywhere else on the mountain? And I know this is, as I said, something that I'm going to be doing for all of my life. So I want to talk about like my biggest breakthrough this year has been, I finally can say that I am consistently carving, which is a big deal for me. I learned to ski. My parents put me in lessons in 1976. And I skied all through the 70s, the 80s, and the early 90s, and then I stopped pretty much in 1994, maybe once or twice a year if I was lucky. But I wasn't carving. I mean, I thought I was a good skier. I mean, I could ski expert trails, but things have changed a lot since the 1990s. And so learning that technique and really getting technical, I'm surprised how much I've been enjoying it. And believe me, I love the steeps. I mean, you saw I just did a video on. I feel a lot more confident on the steeps than I did. I mean, I was having panic attacks last year when I first went down my first double black by myself, having panic attacks. And now I just feel so much more confident. But I would say, I said, I want to cruise on the blue groomers all day. Feeling this sensation has been amazing. So that's definitely been a breakthrough for me. What is still hard? Definitely still, I it's funny because I put out last Sunday that video on, from panic to confidence on the steeps. And sometimes karma just comes and like smacks you upside the head and goes, aha. Last week, I went to Whiteface. And if you're not familiar with Whiteface, it was the Olympics were held there in 1980. So it's a no joke mountain. And I mean, I ski consistently in New York. My home mountain's in upstate New York, but Whiteface is a very challenging mountain and very steep terrain, consistently long trails. And we call it lovingly ice face. And there was a lot of ice that day. And so I wasn't feeling as confident. And there was this one trail that I went down one time and felt confident on it. I mean, again, I used my skills. You get off the lift, and I like when I'm going down a harder, as I mentioned in the video, I like to get some momentum before going over the head wall, just so I get in a flow. Well, you get off the chairlift and boom, you're like staring down. I think it's called Skyward. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not familiar with the names. But so I'm looking down and it was really steep, but I used the skills that I have been learning. I just kind of did a little falling leaf side slip so I could get to a place and make my turn and go. And then we went back up and then went on the opposite. Isn't it amazing how at the opposite end of the trail, it could be completely different? And it was a waterfall of just, it looked like sheer ice. And I chickened out and I bailed on it. And I have been kicking myself ever since for not pushing myself to do it. But sometimes, hey, survival instincts come in. I know I could have, once I got past that sketchy part, I would have been fine. But I said, I just posted a video about being confident on steeps and then I wasn't confident, but that's the way skiing is. So I definitely need to keep on working on my confidence on the steeps, but I'm really enjoying the carving aspect. So again, now I'm going to move to more about me and why I decided to do this YouTube journey. Again, I think that we are an interesting demographic, and I'm a Gen Xer, and I'm loving this stage of my life. I'm feeling so much more confident in my skin, and the fireplace is hot. Confident in my skin. And I think it's really important as we age that we find things that we feel like we can improve upon. And skiing just really, I feel like this is something that is, I know I can get better, and I have gotten so much better. So, it's putting yourself out there and you feel a little awkward and you feel a little weird. But I know by reading the comments and the people that I have connected with that we're all in the same boat. And that's why I'm doing it. Whether I am talking with people on the chairlift or waiting for the first chair or here on YouTube, we are a special community of skiers. And in this crazy topsy-turvy world, I don't know if you know, skiing and being on the mountain has been my sanctuary. And the community that I'm building on my mountain and now here at YouTube is really helping my sanity to know that, like, despite everything that's going on, that we can make our own reality. And I love, love, love skiing. And obviously, I'm striking a nerve that people are relating to what I'm putting out there. And I'm going to share more of your comments. I love, love hearing your stories as well. So I came back to skiing, as I said, 4 seasons ago. Really, it's been 3 seasons that I became more serious. I went through a divorce. My kids went off to college and I was an empty nester. And I was saying, Now, what do I do with my life? As I'm, I'm a woman in my 50s. Don't judge me. What am I going to do with my life? And I said, as a kid, I really enjoyed skiing. I think that's something that I want to start doing again. Well, fate stepped in, and I was at a party, and I met my now partner, who is a professional ski race coach. So, and he said to me that first, he's like, "You want to go skiing?" I'm like, yeah, I want to go skiing. And the rest is history. So I think like if I didn't meet him and I just went on and got my season's pass and was filling my cup, being out in nature and singing my songs and just shushing, I say it, lying, which a lot of people do. And there's no judgment to that. I would have been happy. But with fate stepping in and introducing me to someone who is a very technical skier, changed the whole trajectory of me and my skiing outcome. And I say, like, I don't think you should do something to try and impress somebody else. It just happened that I connected now with people who I have surrounded myself with really, really good skiers. So it has inspired me to get better, but I had that love from when I was a kid. My aunt, when I was in college, my aunt lived in Steamboat, my favorite aunt, and all my friends were going down south for spring break. And I'm like, I'm going skiing. I'm going to Steamboat. And I would just ski by myself with my backpack and a Walkman and skiing with the ski bums. And so I had that love. And I thought I was a good skier, but I guess, when you start learning the technical stuff, you're like, oh, I guess I wasn't that good, but I could get down stuff. But now that I am in a place and I'm really enjoying learning the technical aspects of skiing, it has sent me on a whole different path. And it's so exciting to learn, like, body motion movement analysis. I mean, I didn't know angulation or inclination or edge angles or any of that stuff. There's like a whole different language that people speak that now I'm like, oh my gosh, I dig this. Our friends think we're crazy when we start talking like technical ski stuff. So I know I'm at home with you because obviously you found me because you are watching how to improve skiing. So we're in the right. I'm amongst friends, that's for sure. So okay. So that's about me, and I have a fun announcement at the end, going with the whole technical aspect. But I appreciate people who have been commenting, and I want to move into the comeback crew and community spotlight because this is really why I am doing this, because I know that there are people like me who are out there doing the work. And that's the thing about us being over 50. It's just time, it's dedication, and to keep us feeling young and feeling confident and competent. And it's awesome. So I'm going to share some comments that I have received, and I've received so many. And I know and I watch a lot of YouTube, that I'll be watching the video and I'm scrolling the comments to see what people say. So, and I think that by people sharing their stories, that they're inspiring and teaching others. So, but I'm going to get into that. So, first comment I want to share is from Greg, and I'm going to take a sip of water. 1 second. I told you I can ramble on. So Greg says, thoughts of a 61-year-old that started back 8 years ago. And I need my glasses. I was a terminal intermediate. When I skied enough, I was an expert. But I never got enough time in or learning to stay there. Then I stopped to feed the family. Yes. Skiing is not a cheap sport. I hear you. I was in the same thing. It just wasn't a priority. I married a non-skier. Though at my kids, I did put all my kids in lessons, and I was basically on the Buddy Hill for many, many years. But it's not a cheap sport. So Greg goes on, kids got old enough, and I figured I had put it off long enough. I found a mountain that was about 2 hours from where I was, and I said, I'm going skiing tomorrow. The bus pulls out at 7 a.m. Wife started with the but. We know that. And I said, you missed what I said. I'm going skiing. The bus pulls out at 7 o'clock. Anyone who wants can be on it. Now, 2 out of the 3 kids ski. Wife got back into it, but not like she used to. And I hear that a lot. That um, lot of the women say, "All right, I'm good. I'm going to go sit in the lodge," which is fine. Hey, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy on the mountain. No judgment. Now, and Greg continues to say, now I will firmly state I am advanced. Years of work dedicated years of work decided that the knees just say no to bumps, even when I wear 2 knee braces, which is mildly irritating. I get that, Greg. I know, but hey, you're putting on the knee braces and you're getting out there, so that's awesome. For me, to stay decent means to stay strong. Every other day, cardio and resistance, focusing on a lot of knees, core, and balance. Then, when skiing, concentrate on things like keeping the shoulders square downhill and getting good separation. First time the skis moved under me and I felt the infinity symbol and weightlessness and transition, it was a game changer. Oh, that gives me goosebumps, Greg. I know. But I think, again, for us older skiers, and I know we all see at the beginning of the seasons, like, get ready for ski season. Here's the ski season workout. And I've done those. But for us older skiers, it's not just, okay, September, we need to start working out. We need to be working out our bodies all year long. We need to make sure that we are fueling our bodies correctly. Believe me, I am I am not one to like consistently be eating properly, but I always make sure, did I drink a full glass of water before I go out and hit the slopes? Did I get a adequate breakfast to fuel me on my runs? But it is keeping your body moving all through the year. I am on the off season. I try to run during ski season as well, but off season, I'm a runner. I do lift weights. I ski with one of my closest ski buds is 80 years old, and he tuckers me out. He tuckers me out. But you know what he's doing when he's not skiing? He's playing pickleball, or he's walking, or he's placing, in his age group for a 5K. And he's always been very, very active. So for us to be better skiers, we have to keep moving and taking care of this body that we have. And balance is important. I know for myself, I test my balance all the time. If I'm putting on a shoe, I am balancing on one foot just to see how I'm doing, or doing yoga or anything. So I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm encouraging you to stay physically fit all year round, not just for ski season. And we're going to be stronger if we are doing it all the time. So thank you, Greg. And then Mark said, and these comments were from my 10 lessons I learned skiing after 50. And Mark said, thank you so much for this. I've been looking for a video like this. I'm 58 in a couple of weeks and returned to skiing 3 years ago after nearly a 20-year hiatus. Woo woo! I was a very good skier and am more of a good intermediate now. I really struggle with being dynamic. Flexibility is also a big issue. Like, I look and feel a bit stiff, which I talked about that in a lot of my videos. I really love skiing again, but I'm learning that I can expect from my body. Any tips on how to push the envelope a bit whilst setting realistic expectations of myself would be greatly appreciated. Best wishes to the ski season. Bon chance. Thank you, Mark. So again, just like what I shared before with the comment from Greg about continuing to be active. And I know that I talked a lot in my last video that I did about my skiing last year compared to this year. And even though they're very, very subtle changes, the biggest thing, and I was complaining all last year that when I would see, have you watched video of yourself skiing? It is very humbling. It is very humbling and a eye opener. But when I saw that video last year of myself and I screamed, I'm like, I look like an old lady. I'm like, I know I'm an old lady. I'm in my 50s. But in my mind, I think I look so much more dynamic and I was really static. As my boyfriend says, it's like you make the turn and then you just wait for the turn to end. And then you make the turn and then you wait, during the transition. So I've been really working on being more athletic. And it comes down once again with being athletic, always being in that athletic stance, being flowy. And I think that is a bit that was a game changer for me because I was very, very static. And I think that what changed for me is really using that fore aft balance more, which helped a ton by doing the falling leaps, as Deb says, savvy feet, because it all starts from the feet up. So that really helped me a lot. So, and then next comment, but thank you, Mark, for that comment. Again, there's so many comments. I really would appreciate if you go through and anytime you read a comment, please like them for the people that they're taking the time to write these really thoughtful and insightful comments. So Kelly, which yay for a female, surprise, surprise that most of my demographic are males. And I know all of us who are out there skiing, if we were scanning the mountain or standing in line to get on the lift, it's mostly dudes. So, and I love it. I mean, I grew up with I was a tomboy, so I've always surrounded myself with more men than female. But Kelly said, again, this is for the 10 lessons I learned skiing after 50. I love this video. Since I didn't live close to a mountain, I only dabbled in skiing in my 20s, but really loved it. Then I got married to a non-skier. Me too. Raised 3 kids. Beep, beep, beep. Me too. And it was just too expensive. Me too. And time consuming to take the family on ski trips. Now that the kids are out on their own, me too. And I'm back to skiing at 60 and absolutely love it. Yes, I had the dreaded A-frame. I have talked about my A-frame, but hold that because I want to talk about, it's always going to be a challenge. It sneaks in when I get lazy, but I'm going to talk more about that. But don't strive to be perfect. I just want to enjoy my time on the mountain. My boyfriend is much better than me, but is very patient and we have a lot of fun. It's never too late. Kelly, girl, I hear you. First of all, surrounding yourself with someone who is better than you is going to push you. And I'm sure he's very encouraging and very supportive and patient. But I think the thing for me, because I am timid, was having someone in my life, whether it was my boyfriend who would, take me in the glades, or if you watched my A basin from last year, that experience, pushing me out of my comfort zone and helping me with everything that I overcome safely. Safely. I have had 2 falls the past 2 seasons and it got black eyes. And my family, my parents are like, "What, Sonny? What are you doing?" Like, I'm improving my life. I know it doesn't look like it, but every time that you push yourself a little bit further, if you want to, I'm not pushing you to do anything that you don't want to do, but surrounding yourself, as I said, I have my boyfriend. I'm in a lesson with a level 3 instructor. I have friends that are skiing better than me that push me, and I'm constantly learning from them, and always watching. When you're riding a lift, you're checking out. If you're like me, you're like, oh, look at that awesome skier. What are they doing that I can do in it when I'm on the hill? Like, what am I seeing that they're doing that I'm not doing? So I think that's awesome that you have someone in your life. And as someone who, once the kids were gone, like, all right, I'm going skiing, I appreciate it. So thank you, Kelly, for the comment. All righty. So let me see. I do have some people in the chat. So I am going to, let's see. I agree with you and Deb. She really helps with keeping the message simple, includes other instructor wisdom. Yes, thank you for adding that. Yes, Deb is amazing. And then just recently been watching you for 2 years. Thank you. Came back last year after 35 years off, and I'm an intermediate skier and skis Kissing Bridge, Swain, and Bristol in Western New York. Oh my gosh. In Bristol, New York, they're having New York States this weekend. So big doings out there. I got a couple of ski buddies that coach me up. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your support. And hey, if you can get out to Bristol today or Tuesday, you're going to see some really awesome student high school athletes that are going to be tearing it up. It's always fun to watch the racers. I love watching the racers. But thank you for sharing in the comments. I appreciate it. So, all right. So here we go for more comments. This is from EK. Hold on. Let me take a drink here. And this is from my video that I'm going to call this my breakout video. My video that I put out last Sunday that a lot of you have connected with me. And I think that finally YouTube is saying, oh, we know the type of content and the type of people who would enjoy watching what you're putting out. So thank you if you found me from my Steeps video last week. A lot of you have joined the comeback crew since then. So EK said, I really appreciate your video and the comments of others. See, I love it. We learn from each other. At almost 77, 77, I'm struggling not to regress. I find myself more fearful and timid. I challenge myself and I am constantly assessing my technique and movements. I look forward to using the tips by you and others to keep skiing at a high and in parentheses for me level. And that's the thing. We all know where we are, where we want to go. But I want to stress, like, age is just a number. If you keep active and healthy and really work these things, and you don't have to be pushing yourself on the double black diamonds all the time. I said, I'm enjoying working on the techniques, just going down the groomers and being like, oh my gosh, look at, I wanted to go back to my A-frame. So I was A-framing a lot the past when I first started. And I think I did put out a video about stop using your inside leg as a crutch, because that's what I was doing. I had my uphill inside leg flat and I was getting on my edge on my downhill, putting my pressure there, but just like going around this way. And so, and especially on one side, when I had my custom boot fitting, they said I was windswept, and one side was worse. So with getting my boots fixed and with the canting, that because, I'm naturally knobby kneed. I say to people, I had to wear special shoes when I was a kid. I had to wear special shoes with little inserts because I was pigeon toed. So I think I understand why I'm A-framing, but a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people, especially women, just the way that our hips are, that we A-frame. But the thing with A-frame is that the reason that but my understanding why we don't want to do it, because that inside uphill ski can get in the way of your other ski, and you don't want to be doing that. So I have been really working hard, and I think not only the boots, but also its technique, and doing those railroad tracks on like flat terrain, and just going from edge to edge. But also a tip that my boyfriend gave me was to engage my uphill ski earlier before my downhill and just kind of play around. And actually, I think I saw was it a is it Tom Gile? I enjoy him too. Again, he gets a little bit too technical, but as I progress more in my understanding of the technical terms and body mechanics, I think I'm going to be able to understand him because sometimes I just start to glaze over. I'm like, what are they doing? But he has a friend, I can't remember her name, but it's like a drunken sailor where you take one ski and you just go back and forth, and then the other one back and forth. So I just started working with that, and I mean, and a lot of other little tweaks, but I really feel that I'm getting rid of my A-frame. And that's a big, big thing for me because I was really worried that it was going to take a long time. And sometimes it does. But when I get lazy, it comes back in. So I need to watch that. But again, EK, kudos to you at 77. Keep working at it. Let me know. And it's okay to be fearful and timid. I'm fearful and timid. And as I said, just little baby steps to push yourself past your comfort zone. And then it's like little feathers in your cap. Like, well, I did this the other day. Like, I can do this. I have the skills. You don't need to be, straight lining things. You can take it easy. And if you get stuck, you can side slip down, or, there's a lot of tools in our toolbox for skiing to get us down if we are too fearful. I keep referring back to A Basin last year when we ended up on that bowl that was not ready to be skied, and I had to side slip Montezuma Bowl the whole way down, and my knees were knocking so bad I couldn't turn. I couldn't get my knees to stop knocking together to make a turn. So if you're interested in watching that, it is quite an ordeal. But I survived, and so when I'm really scared, I said I side slipped down Montezuma Bowl and A Basin. I can get down this. So it's just having those things that you keep on building on. So all right, another comment. Thank you for if you're sticking around and watching this, I really appreciate it. Okay. And this again is from a comment from the last video about the steeps. And going back to the point and why many of us might gravitate to a certain professional coach and how they explain things. The thing that I'm learning, body mechanics, movement analysis, technique, it's pretty much cut and dry, but how someone explains it might click for you. There's many, like the whole, like Tom Gile might say, like toppling. Toppling doesn't click for me. I can't understand what he's really saying when he says toppling, but someone might explain it a different way. And I go, oh, ding, 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 ding. So I have to give it, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I would encourage you to go find Matt's comment, but he said, I like your story. I do have a tip. Watching your feet tells me that you move edge to edge without really moving across the base of the ski. Think of the hull of a ship. When it goes from port to starboard, it doesn't come out of the water. It moves across, pressing its hull into the water with force, and that's what you should do. A good way to do this is to start by finding a flat spot to practice this, which I do. I do my railroad tracks a lot, but I was reading this, and again, he has more. So if you're interested, go back and read all of it. But again, sometimes someone might explain something to you and you go, I was a sailor actually for 5 summers. I sailed a lot in upstate New York. I had a 26-footer sailboat, and him explaining that, it was like an aha moment. I said, I never thought to think of it like a hull of a boat, my ski. And that's what I love about putting myself out here. And I do get a lot of criticism putting myself out here on YouTube, but it's just having someone share some insights or what they're learning or how they're seeing something. You go, yes, I understand it. So thank you, Matt, for sharing that, because that really resonated with me and really clicked. So then I have one more to share. And this is from Jason. And this is a good story. And I love it when people share their own comeback stories. So I moved to Colorado in my late 40s to enjoy the outdoor lifestyle while I still could. Love it. Love it, Jason. Already. Check. My first ski instructor was 95, which is inspirational. 95. That makes me want to cry. I want to be a 95-year-old instructor. While I've been skiing before, I never made it to parallel skiing, so it was basically starting over. My first season here, I managed to get comfortable on moderate greens. By the end of the second season, I was able to do easy blues and harder greens. In my third season, I'm now 50, I can do harder blues, deal with less than ideal conditions, easy black groomers, and even some easy moguls. I'm hoping to take on some easier bowls later this season, if weather permits, or perhaps next season. My ultimate goal is to confidently ski the Vail Legendary Back Bowls, which I did the back bowls 2 seasons ago, and that was so much fun. Jason goes on to say, I try to get in a couple lessons per year. Highly recommend working with someone who can instruct you and teach you like correct stuff. One early in the season, which is normally on discount, and mid to late season if I get a great deal. And if I get a great deal, I'll do a third season. But I've also picked up Carve to help on days when I'm not in a lesson. Now that I'm able to ski most groomed runs, I'm not in a super hurry to advance, which is fine. You know what? You working on techniques on those blue groomers, you're going to be surprised. Like I know, and I'm sure many of the other people who are watching this are going to agree. Like what you're learning on the greens and the blues is going to translate to the steeper terrain. And so the more confident and more competent you are becoming on those, it's going to take you up into the steeps. So he's not in a hurry to advance. There are a few technique things I need to work on, but mainly about feeling comfortable on the snow and being able to adjust to the conditions. Yes. And that goes back with, was it EK was talking about not being dynamic and more static. And I think that is a big thing. A big aha moment for me was when I am more athletic, when I'm in a good position, I am able to absorb the things that are coming towards me, the bumps and the uneven terrain. And, especially in flat light, like today on the mountain, there was some flat light and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't see that little jump coming, but because I'm in an athletic position, I can absorb those. So that's the thing. The more that Jason, that you're finding that you are in a good stance, that you're going to be able to absorb those little surprises and the uneven terrain and adjust to the conditions better. Luckily out there, you don't have ice like we do here on the ice on the East Coast. So he goes to finish up. I live in Colorado and mostly ski Keystone and Breckenridge, which I did those. I love those, with an occasional trip to Vail and or Beaver Creek. Upper Frenchman at Keystone was my first black, and I absolutely loved that run. I took my 11-year-old son down it, and now it's his favorite run. Next, I want to try the Edge and Starfire at Keystone and American at Breckenridge. Jason, I hope if you're watching that you keep us posted. If you get to those and if you get to the legendary back bowls, so beautiful, so beautiful. So, all right. And so with that was the community spotlight. Thank you so much. But I can't go on talking about the community and the comments without a special shout out to, his name is Joel. He has been with me since the beginning, has been commenting pretty much on every video that I have put out, which has been over 40 videos. He lives in Idaho. His wife is taking lessons again. He is working on getting his hip lower with carving. They just had a powder day last Tuesday, so I love the conversation that I have been having with him. He invited myself and my boyfriend to come out, and I hope one day, Joel, that we get out there, that I hope I blow up and then I'm able to travel the world and visit all beautiful, wonderful ski locations. But Joel, if you're watching this, thank you for your encouragement and your support from the beginning. You're a wonderful guy, and I know that I'll be skiing with you in Idaho someday. So thank you. So, and I want to finish up just with, I did some polls, and this is what I asked everybody. What is your ski day goal for the season? What would feel like a win for you? So 27% of people that took the poll said 1 to 10 days would feel like a win. 27%, another 27% said 1 to 27 days would be good. 40%, 40% said 26 to 50 days. So I know you people who are watching my channel. I think tomorrow I'm going to hit day 50. And then 7% said over 50 days. So you guys are out there. You're skiing lots. You're putting in the work. You're dedicated to it. So you're my people. I feel that. And then the next poll question I asked, what kind of skier are you trying to be? 50% of you said smooth and flowy. You know, that is my goal, that you can, again, talking about the last comment with Jason, being able to adjust to every condition. I love it. You know, when you're in a flow and you can go from a steep section to, you know, a more moderate section, to then hitting some bumps, to then, you know, hitting a traverse, and you're skating and you're like, I'm on top of the world. So believe me, I'm a smooth and flowy wannabe person. 25% said powerful and aggressive. I love that. I would like to be powerful and aggressive too. And then 25% said calm and confident. I would like to be all of these, because depending on the conditions, you have to kind of, again, like little tools in your toolbox and feathers in your cap, what you can do. And then the last poll question. Oh no, I have another poll question. What is the biggest win you've had so far this season? 50% said you fixed a bad habit, and then 50% just surviving without injury. I got to tell you, every day I walk off the mountain that I'm healthy and happy is a good day. Skiing is a no-joke sport. I'm sure we have heard recently in the news about the avalanches. There have been deaths in my state. So be safe out there. We are so fortunate that we get to do this sport we love, but it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's a scary sport, and it's no joke. So stay safe out there. And the last question for the roll call for this live: where do you ski the most often? 36%, representing the East Coast, the Ice Coast. Are East Coast skiers the best skiers? I'm going to have to ask that question. 29% in the Rockies. Hey, I will be, if anyone is out in Aspen, I'm going to be out there in April, the beginning of April. So connect with me. Maybe we can go on a run or two. 7% were West Coast. I know there's got to be more West Coast people watching. And then I didn't write down. And then I think it was maybe in the 20% was international, which is, for me, Canada, Europe, and the Southern Hemisphere. So I appreciate you doing that with the comments and the polls. And then I'm going to wrap up here. So the slopes to come. What is going on the road ahead? Well, next week for me, I am heading to Sugar Bush, which is a mountain in Vermont. And I am going to be, and I'm a little nervous about it after my experience on my face. I was feeling super badass. And then I get the white face and it humbled me, but that's part of skiing. I'm going to be taking a 2-day steeps and glades clinic. I'm probably not going to be able to film while I'm there taking the lesson. I mean, I want to respect the other people that I'm with. I am paying to go there and want to be concentrating. So I don't know if I'm going to pop on live or do another quick video to kind of recap what I learned, but there is some if you're not familiar with Sugarbush, that's another no joke mountain. There's a lot of no joke mountains, but a lot of technical terrain and chutes here in the East that I'm going to be tackling. So I will be giving an update about that. And then again, I will be skiing. If anyone is ever up in the Adirondacks and looking for a place to ski, email me and come to my home mountain. I will take you around. And as I said, I'll be in Aspen in April. And so the last big announcements before I wrap up this long ass live. Thank you for those of you who watched all the way through. I appreciate it. I have started my PSIA level 1 certification. I have really enjoyed, as I said, and you've heard me repeat multiple times, learning the technical aspects of skiing. I am a natural encourager and cheerleader. And obviously, I don't know if you can pick up, I have a lot of energy. And I think that I'm going to make a really kick-ass instructor. So I will keep you posted on that. I mean, it's late in the season, but I'm going to see if I can get it done this season or start fresh next season and maybe be documenting that journey of becoming an instructor and helping other people learn to ski and the love and the joy of doing this amazing sport. So with that, thank you for joining the Comeback Crew. Thank you for support. And I will see you on the slopes. See you next week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.